cucinata tu?
Sì.
Brava. La prendo io? Te la devo rifare?
No.
Ah, ok. Allora adesso che cucini?
Dammi.
Ah, tieni.
Adesso ti farò
Ma l'altro pezzo della carota, ce l'ha papà, ok. Devi dare a papà la carota.
No.
No?
Io do te.
Grazie. Io ho tanta fame.
Carota.
Io ho tanta fame, Diana.
Sì.
Sì.
Ho molta fame.
Molta. Molta tabacco. Samu, hai tabacco?
Ce l'hai in testa? Hai visto sopra la testa mia?
Perché hai un portatabacco in testa?
E quindi perché mi stai chiedendo?
Perché ti sei hai tabacco? Punto interrogativo. È una domanda.
Questo è il gufo, mamma.
Bello, Gugu mamma. Pippi.
Posso disegnare?
Sì, mo andiamo in camera a disegnare. Con papà.
Voglio disegnare qui.
Mo papà si mette la cosa con voce.
Perché non va? Mamma, guarda!
Allora, aspetta, togli la giacca, Diana. Amore. Attenzione. Aspetta, posa il pennello, amore. Posalo un attimo. Brava. Ok, quindi.
Adesso faccio...
Aspetta. Prima, mamma, ti devo mettere il camice, ok? Ti devo mettere il camice e ti porto il foglio. Aspetta. Sei qua? Mamma. Diana, ripasa l'attimo il pennello, amore. Ah, metti il camice. Diana, amore, dopo lo fai. Adesso metti il camice. Diana, prima fatti mettere il camice, ok? Ehi!
Dammi.
Senta. Wow, è diventato rosa, che bel colore. Ti porto i fogli, ok? Non va bene.
Actually, it was originally a song that Bonnie Tyler released. I didn't know that. Bonnie Tyler. With a croaky voice. Total eclipse for the half. That's the one. 0-0. Newcastle have the ball deep inside their own territory. Only played 20 minutes. It's played forward into Longstaff. Longstaff gets it back to Lascelles. And I suppose the credit you can play Lascelles is that he started 5 Premier League games in a row now, captained the team in the Champions League, and no one's really noticed that Sven Botman isn't in the team.
Yeah, did very well. Brilliant.
Joel Linton helps it out wide towards the left. Willett keeps it in down the left side, bounds into the Dortmund half, produces a cross deep towards the far post. It's too high for Wilson, and that delivery from Willett just not quite right. The initial setup play was really good from Newcastle, but they couldn't execute the final ball.
No, Joelinton done very well that particular moment there, and they got down the left-hand side, and he just overhit the cross, unfortunately. But probably Newcastle's best sort of insertion so far.
And camped on the edge of the 18-yard box as they did during that game against Milan, trying to win the ball back as Dortmund play out. Hasn't worked for them this time, so they just regress slightly back to the halfway line, allow Hummels to come out with it through the middle of the pitch, goes back via Ozcan to Hummels, and then he looks up and he's always looking for that big raking ball forward. He's looked for Adeyemi in behind here. It's too big, that one, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper away to our left-hand side. Interesting that Anthony Gordon and Almiron have been left on the bench tonight. Do you think that's with an eye of bringing them on in the second half? Here is Wilson trying to get the better of Hummels. He runs up to him down the right side, plays it against him. Hummels comes across, snuffs it out, and it goes out for a corner.
Well, it's just the pass we were talking about earlier. They've managed to release him down the side, and Hummels had a struggle there, and he had to give away a corner. So, you know, the first time really Wilson's had a run down there and got some sort of delivery. So that will encourage him, because strikers are not going to do it all night. He'll do it as much as he'll do it as much as he wants if he gets the ball. But he will stop, but he's got one there, so that'll encourage him to do that a bit more. And Trippier with a corner.
Newcastle have to try and maintain the momentum from the weekend. Hall with a back heel into Trippier. Trippier through the 6-yard box. How did no one finish that off? He flashed through the 6-yard box and there wasn't a green shirt ready for it. Brilliant move between Trippier and Hall from the corner. A routine which really came off. And how there wasn't a Newcastle player there to tap in what was a simple chance. I think Kieran Trippier will be scratching his head for a few weeks about that.
Well, I'm not sure that Trippier was at fault there, because it looked to me like Wilson, all he had to do was find him. So I will have to look at the replay of that, but great corner, and actually Eddie's always been, you know, very clever with his corners, even when he was at Bournemouth. They were always tricky, always be on your guard. It was played in short, and Hall just done a little, as if he was going to pass it to the edge, done a little back flick, and Trippier was in, but he square pass. I thought he missed the chance there to find Wilson.
It was a great opportunity, Trippier down that right-hand side. I wasn't blaming him, I was actually couldn't believe that there was 5, 6 of them in the box and no one got on the end of it. It might be just a little bit behind Wilson from Trippier. We were just seeing a replay on our monitors which suggests that actually Trippier maybe just played it behind the number 9.
He had a defender in the way, but maybe he could have gone straight through his legs here, and Wilson would have had a tap in. He pulled it behind the defender and actually took Wilson out of the game.
23 gone, halfway through the first half, and it's Dortmund 0, Newcastle 0 in the Champions League on this Tuesday night, live on TalkSport 2. Ali McCoyce and Andy Townsend back together next Monday and Tuesday. Tomorrow it's the turn of Alan Brazil with Ali, making sure that you get all of the reaction to the big Champions League action tonight. Here is Adeyemi down the left-hand side, pulls the ball through the 18-yard box, dealt with by Willett. Longstaff gives it down to the right side. Trippier gives it back to Ozcan, and then it's pinched by Bruno Guimaraes, and now Wilson's got to hold on to it here. He does very well, travels with it out to the right-hand side, tries to draw the foul, does just that, and it's very intelligent play, professional play from Callum Wilson.
Yeah, he needed that, because Longstaff gave it away on the edge. And Trippier's had a funny start to this game. You know, he's like probably the most senior player out there in Champions League experience for Newcastle, and he's made like 3 or 4 errors in this game. And that's when it comes down to tiredness sometimes. You know he's got great quality, we know he's a great player, but, you know, maybe this run they've had in a tough game on Saturday.
Dortmund 0, Newcastle 0. TalkSport 2. Lewis Hall sends it wide down the left, looking for the run of Joelinton. Joelinton yarning from the left touchline, sends the ball back to halfway. Joel Willock has it once again. It's played square out to the right where Trippier picks it up, turns it back infield, and gives it to the captain, Jamal Lascelles. They had a slow start to the season from a defensive viewpoint. Newcastle United didn't keep a clean sheet in any of their first 4 games in all competitions. They then went on a run of 5 in a row before they conceded against Paris Saint-Germain. Willock going down the left-hand side, putting pressure on Ozcan. Ozcan plays the ball. And I think the offside flag was up before Willock could put him under any real grief. Newcastle fans everywhere tonight, creeping into the ground, making their presence felt.
And at 25 minutes, I mean, anyone's been delighted, really. I mean, they've had a couple of shots from the edge, but they haven't had a concerted period of pressure. And Newcastle threatened the goal. And, you know, when you're the away team, you've got to get the opposition on the back foot of that corner, just to put a few doubts in Dortmund's mind.
They've just won the ball back, though, Dortmund, after initially losing it. It's come to the edge of the penalty area. A little flick onto Fulkrug, who tries to return it to Sabitzer, who turns back into Fulkrug, taps it into the roof of the net with his left foot. And they went a little bit missing at the back there, Newcastle. Good football by the German side. A few mistakes on the edge of the penalty area when Newcastle had the opportunity to clear the ball. They didn't quite do it. And the combination of Fulkrug and Sabitzer have opened up Newcastle's defence.
I'm just saying, at 25 minutes, they've just got themselves in a great position. And there's a few errors in this goal. You know, it's played up, and the big guy, he's caused a few problems tonight, by the way, with that first ball. But in the build-up here, there's kind of a bit of a ricochet that goes their way, and then they've got runners. They get another ricochet that goes their way, and actually get it in the box, and then the big guy turns it in. It's a really horrible goal from Newcastle's perspective, where they've done so well up until now.
You could probably identify 3 or 4 places where that ball should have been cleared. Jamal Lascelles didn't do enough. He wasn't strong enough in the challenge. Lewis Hall allows Sabitzer to get across him and then turn the ball back into the danger zone. No one went with Fulkrug, who scored the goal. And before all that even happened, there was a lucky ricochet off Fabian Schär, which just bounced the ball into Dortmund possession.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0.
That's one of those, you know, when I don't know if you're a snooker fan, Sam, but when still with the run of the balls, that definitely wasn't the run of the balls for Newcastle there.
No, it certainly wasn't, was it? It was, well, he was asking for a bit of fortune after what happened in the game up at St James's Park, and not to get it here as well will be disappointing for Eddie Howe. As the ball goes out of play across field, he almost caught that Adeyemi. He thought it was going out. I think he's going to give a free kick here for handball.
Oh dear.
Because he went to catch it. It's a free kick.
It's a strange one. You see that often, do you? I think Newcastle want him booked, actually. You can't really book him for that.
Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0. And the difference between the two at St James's Park was a 45th minute goal from Felix Nemecha, and it ended the Germans' 6-game losing run in England, inflicting Newcastle's first defeat by Bundesliga opposition. They don't want a quick second in succession. Willock, Joelinton, Hall moving up the pitch and down that left-hand side now into opposition territory. It's aimed towards Wilson. It's a bit behind him, stabbed away by Schlotterbeck, but the ball is back with Newcastle. Left-hand side, Joelinton, centrally Bruno Guimaraes. He's not going to play at the weekend because of suspension. Trippier onto Livramento. Livramento back in field, and then back wide to Trippier. Space now to get the cross in. Can he do so? He arcs it deep towards the far post. It's overhit. And that was a tale of the tape, actually, in the first game between the two. Trippier not quite accessing his best delivery. Here's Hall delivering a better ball into the box. Headed away this time by Schlotterbeck. Still not cleared by Borussia Dortmund. Eventually they get it to halfway. That was a good delivery by Hall. There wasn't anyone there to attack it.
Yeah, it was a great delivery. Put some real purpose on the cross. And probably Newcastle's best little period there. So a good reaction. I just wonder if they've got enough on the pitch here offensively. You know, he's who's got the big hitters are sitting on the sidelines, you'd expect to see them come onto this game. At the moment, even though they've kind of had decent control of the game, they haven't really packed them in wide areas.
Here's Willett, though, in behind the defence, trying to get the better of Hummels, who does superbly to snuff it out as it drops down over the back of the defender in the left channel. Willett brought it down elegantly, but then Hummels just came across and just snuffed everything out.
Yeah, you can feel there's goals in this game, though, and not just for Dortmund. There's, they've had a couple of chances without really creating anything for Newcastle.
So far, they are yet to test Corbell. One corner, no shots on goal of any variety up until this point for Newcastle United, who trailed to full cruise goal after 26 minutes. Here's Lewis Hall, plays it behind Willock. Willock turns the ball back in field. Bruno Guimaraes keeps it moving for Newcastle in green and attacking the goal away to our right. Flicked back towards Lascelles. Lascelles wider onto Trippier. Trippier looks up, sends it in towards Willock. Sets it back for Bruno Guimaraes. Livramento on the volley, sends the ball back across the face of goal. It hits the back of Ryerson and goes out and away for a corner kick.
Nice move by Newcastle. Played it around, got it down the side, went down the right-hand side. Livramento and Trippier involved. And then a really decent ball from the midfield. Livramento trying to square it. It just gets blocked, goes out for a corner.
Newcastle fans on their feet. In that corner where they are about to take this set piece. A bit of pushing and shoving going on inside the 18-yard box. Referee's keeping an eye on it. Newcastle don't want to surrender this opportunity by giving away a foul. Trippier is going to take this corner. He's waiting for the delivery. What can he come up with here? It needs to be a good one. Right-footed. It's in towards the penalty spot area. A header is on goal by Cher, but it's saved down low to his right by Corbell.
It's always irritating for me as a manager. I always wanted a striker around the goalie, because if you win that first contact 9 times out of 10, you can't really get the power. It's going to go right in front of the keeper, which it did there. Nice tapping there for Wilson. So they're the kind of little half chances that make the difference at this level.
0-0. Alan Pardew and Sam Matterface bringing you commentary from the Westfalen Stadion, Signal Iduna Park. Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0 is the scoreline. Later on today we'll be taking you to Atletico Madrid's Metropolitano Stadium as they take on Celtic. Live on TalkSport later, and Rotherham against Ipswich follows on TalkSport 2 with Mark Wilson. Ball swung out towards this near side by Bruno Guimaraes. Trippier, back in field it goes. Collected now by Lascelles. Lascelles square, moving up to halfway with Cher. Further wide onto Hall. Back to Cher once more. And then the ball goes back into the heart of defence, and Newcastle looking to try and build. Shakhtar 0, Barcelona 0 is the latest scoreline from the other early game in the Champions League tonight. Guimaraes, centre circle, swings it wide, out to Trippier, right side for the visitors. Across funnels in, Julian Brandt trying to stop him from chipping it down the line. He can't do so, and Longstaff has got it. A little back heel, looking for Livramento. I don't think you really can get away with those sort of movements in the Champions League unless you're going to get it right. And he's given the ball away and invited the attack, the counter from Dortmund. Brandt is on the ball once again, infield. It's a bit behind Sabitzer.
You can just sense that Dortmund have sort of let Newcastle have a little bit more position, sat back a little bit after the goal, and Newcastle enjoying definitely a little bit more time on the ball for sure.
Sabitzer thought he was fouled by Bruno Guimaraes. Referee said play on. He's brought it forward to halfway. Trippier looking for some movement in front of him, has to go backwards because he's blocked off by Brandt. He's then having a word with those in front of him, as if to say, come on, I need a little bit more than that. And the ball goes wide out to Hall. Left side for Newcastle, halfway line, further out to the touchline, and Joel Linton, who stayed very wide out on that left touchline so far.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to be effective out there for me, Joe Linton. I'm not sure that's something I would look at half-time. What were you, about 12-13 minutes from half-time, to see how this all unfolds in the next few minutes, because I think this Dortmund side, you could get at them. I don't think this is a team that is that I would be worried about if I was Eddie Howe. They're 1-0 up, okay, but starting to gain a bit of possession, a bit of confidence.
Pressing high up inside Dortmund territory at this moment in time, and Dortmund have managed to play through that press. And now attacking down the right with Adeyemi, who tests his pace against Sher, who comes across and extinguishes the attack. And then Joel Linton holding the ball on the far side. Once played in Germany with Hoffenheim, and gets pushed in the side. And the free kick is given against Ozcan.
Yeah, Hall's, you know, when you've got that yellow card, his wide player takes him on, he has to plough him really, because he knows he's on that knife edge, and luckily Shire was there, who did a great job of clearing up for him.
Yeah, 1-0 to Dortmund. And it's Longstaff on the ball just in front of the centre circle, out wide of Trippier. Trippier runs up to Brandt. Brandt tussling for the ball. Tackle goes in from Trippier. Brandt does brilliantly with his feet, weaves away past the challenge of the England man, and then moves centrally into the centre circle, releases Nemanja. It's a lovely ball, out wide and still on to Schüller. Schüller plays it back into Sabitzer, over the top of the edge. Under his command, and that was a great opportunity, because had he have done that, Alan, he was in with the goalkeeper.
Oh, what a chance. It was a great run. The first time, really, he's come off the side. He come flying in off the side to sort of make an internal run. And then picked out by Lascelles, I think. And he was in. All he had to do was bring it under control. It was so unfortunate.
Alan Pardew is alongside me, Sam Manaface on TalkSport 2. We're welcoming listeners from TalkSport to the Westfalenstadion in Dortmund, where Newcastle United are 1-0 down. The goal scored by Niklas Füllkrug after 26 minutes, and Dortmund, who haven't put together much but a couple of very good, well-choreographed moves, which have opened up the Newcastle back line. Newcastle trying to find a way back into this game now, having conceded the first goal after 26 minutes, Alan.
Yeah, it's, you know, I look at this and I'd be really disappointed if I was Eddie. You know, I don't think they put a performance in that warrants to be losing the game. But, you know, when you're away from home, they've had a couple of moments, that's all really.
Adeyemi down the right-hand side, gets to the byline, produces a cross from Dortmund into the box. It runs through the other side, Rice, and keeps it alive. It's a deeper ball into the penalty area. Pope comes out. He's had to make 1 or 2 saves, grabs it and clears it away, and it remains Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0. Dortmund coming forward, up over the halfway line. Ozcan is fouled by Bruno Guimaraes, and the referee, Alejandro Hernandez, just having a quick word with Bruno Guimaraes, just making sure that he tones down his tackles.
Yeah, VAR wouldn't be happy with Pope there. You know, you're 38 minutes on the clock. He's trying to release the striker with a throw and giving it away. You know, it's possession is so important at this level.
Jason Tindall and Eddie Howe involved in deep conversation down on the touchline as they try to fashion a way, plot a way for Newcastle to get back into this game. Forward by Cobell through the middle of the pitch, a long raking ball by the goalkeeper up towards Füllkrug, and that was a handball, was it, by Livramento? The referee says no, play on. Gave him the advantage. Then Bruno Guimaraes is caught in a tangle, and Newcastle are given a free kick, and the fans don't like that.
No, it was good pressure from Dortmund. They were all over Newcastle there, but unfortunately he's made a foul, and Newcastle had the ball. But it was a handball, so slightly fortunate for Newcastle in a number of ways there.
Well, historically, European football has brought the best out of Newcastle United. Home and away, the English side have lost only 3 of their last 17 European games.
Great stat, that.
I wonder who maintained the majority of those games. Here's Joe Linton over on the left-hand side, gets to the byline, then cuts back in, produces a cross. It's not the greatest, it's over Wilson's head. Another opportunity, though, to get the ball into the box, but they decline.
Yeah, I just feel with Joe Linton, you know, he's had a couple of moments in this game from that side. He doesn't look comfortable, really, but you still got that quality. He was a little bit unlucky there, just overhit that.
time to go before the break. Lemaitre wrestling with Bruno Guimaraes. Another set piece for Newcastle. This one 6 yards in from the right touchline, about 12 or 13 yards inside Dortmund territory. Eddie Howe wants Kieran Trippier to make the most of this.
Yeah, this you send your centre-backs up for this one, even 40 minutes.
Share coming up from the back. There's no big Dan Burn at this moment in time because his injury is going to keep him out for a little while after falling awkwardly and hurting his spine the weekend. So it's the Sells and Share who will be trying to attack this. So they've played it short instead to Guimaraes. Down the right goes Willett, looking to get on the end of it. Again, it was well crafted and well thought out, but not necessarily executed perfectly, Alan, as the ball goes out of play.
Yeah, when you work on free kicks and the corner that come off, it looks brilliant. But when it doesn't come off like that situation, you've got a great chance to put it in the box. Played it short to sort of flick it on behind as a second phase, and it went all pear-shaped, and it looked ugly and horrible. And what was all that about? That's the downside of trying a tricky one.
And they are trying to be positive. Hasn't worked perfectly for them so far, Newcastle United. A couple of overhit crosses into the box, which could have been a little bit more precise. They're usually very good from their crosses. Not as many goals come from any other team from that route as they do for Newcastle.
They're a big side on Dortmund, aren't they? They've got some big lumps. The striker, he's been a problem all night. In that midfield, they're a big team.
Newcastle can't bully them, that's for sure.
No.
Hummels is huge. Nicholas Schüller is the kind of bloke that you'd like to avoid at all costs, standing at the bar or going out for a walk. He'd always perennially be in his shadow. He's absolutely massive. Here is Trippier. Again, he's given the ball away cheaply, and it's one back on this near side by Adeyemi. They didn't have the fortitude to go at the Newcastle defence. They might do now. Adeyemi gets it into Brandt. The ball back to him wasn't good enough. And now Livramento looking to steal a march. Goes down this right-hand side. Well, he's pulled a couple of challenges there.
He's done well there, isn't he?
He's won the free kick. He took the ball in, went dribbling with it, carried it a long way despite attention from Sabitzer, from Ryerson, and then eventually from Lemaitre. The referee ultimately then gave the free kick.
Yeah, because he's playing up on the right-hand side, when he's at his back to goal and making runs, it's not really his game, but that was more his game when he's got the game in front of him. He's running with the ball, he's held 2 or 3 off, he's done exceptionally well. Relieved a bit of pressure at an important time at 43 minutes. Cannot concede again at this level, at this time.
Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0. Tomorrow night will bring you Manchester United's latest excursion in the Champions League. They take on Dortmund. And Miguel Almiron has been sent out to warm up on the touchline ahead of the second half, I think, by Eddie Howe.
Yeah, definitely for me. And after conceding the goal, there's no point being tight anymore. They're going to have to get a bit more flair on the pitch, particularly in wide areas. So Almiron will be a natural player to come on for me.
We'll see if that is a change that Eddie Howe is tempted to make at the break. Got 90 seconds plus stoppage time to play. Ball pushed down the right side for Dortmund, cut out by Share, about 15 yards outside his own box. It goes wide to Joel Linton, who has his legs taken from underneath him. And it's a free kick on the touchline.
Yeah. Now, where are we? 44 minutes? I don't think there's going to be a lot of extra time here. So, if I was Eddie, get them in for 1-0 and let's rejig this team a little bit.
I think just the 1 minute of added time is going to be allotted at the end of this 45. Here on the right side is Livramento, and he's forced in the last regular minute of the game a late corner in front of those Newcastle fans away to our right-hand side. And this time, Trippier's got to get the delivery right.
Yeah, this will definitely, I think, be going right in that 6-yard box. They won first contact last time, remember, and it went straight through to the keeper. So, a little bit more alive onto the second ball if they can win first contact here.
30 seconds to go before the break. Trippier would love to cultivate a goal now. Sends it long. He's headed back down towards Joel Linton, who heads it, prods it towards goal, but he couldn't get the power. And springing up to his right was Corbell to snatch it from the sky. And Lascelles at the back post peeled off and headed the ball down. And he couldn't quite steer it into the path of Joel Linton.
Yeah, Joel Linton, he's got everything he can behind that, but there's no pace on the ball, so he can't generate enough to get past the keeper. Well worked corner though, Lascelles round the back. Good chance. They've had 2 chances from set plays.
Good feet by Longstaff to weave his way past Sabitzer, who drags him down and gives away a free kick. He wants more than just the free kick. He wants a yellow card as well. I don't think he's going to get one of those.
Definitely looked like a yellow. Late. Another set play. And you know, from what we've seen in the first half, you'd have to say that if Newcastle are going to score, it might be from a set play. As big as Dortmund are, they've worked out a couple of situations.
Dortmund did score on the stroke of half-time at St James's Park. Can Newcastle do the same and burst their bubble here at the Westfalen Stadium? We're into the final few seconds of the first half. It's swung in by Trippier, headed away out to the far side. Brandt looking to go on the scamper, gets over the halfway line, and Newcastle got to be a little bit careful here because the ball's been inadvertently ricocheted into the path of Sabitzer. Sabitzer turns it into the box. It's headed away by the retreating Cher. Back on this near side, the right. Livramento will see it out. That is the final act of the first half. Well, Borussia Dortmund have only lost 2 of their last 17 home games, so the task facing Newcastle was a daunting one before the match starts. And thanks to the goal from Nico Füllkrug after 26 minutes, it's even more so now. Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0. Here's Alan Pardew.
Yeah, I mean, in perspective, you know, the game is unfortunate for Newcastle. The goal is unfortunate. It's ricochet, not gone their way, and they've conceded a goal. But the game's been fairly even. I don't know what the percentage of possession. Probably Dortmund have edged it from that first 20 minutes.
55-45.
Yeah. So, you know, from away in a Champions League game, that isn't too bad, but definitely they look like they need some more offensive stuff on the pitch, more flair, more pace in those wide areas. And I expect Eddie to make a change here, if not at half-time, not long after. But they're going to have to get hold of Brent in that number 10 role, where he's just drifting around. All the good moments have come through him. And this Dortmund side now, putting to bed that Bayern Munich result, will be a little bit more confident going into the second half.
Coming up on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 over the next few days. Later on TalkSport 2, we've got Rotherham Ipswich with Mark Wilson and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Tomorrow night, live commentary of Copenhagen against Manchester United. That's live on TalkSport. Thursday night, Toulouse against Liverpool is a 5:45 kickoff for Alex Cook and Dean Ashton on 2. And Friday night, it's Blackburn against Preston, a local derby. Joe Shenham will be there for that one. TalkSport 2, if you want to download our app, you'll be able to listen to that. And then on Saturday, it's off to Wolves against Tottenham for 12:30. And Game Day Live takes you round the grounds before we bring you Arsenal-Burnley at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Round the grounds this Sunday afternoon is on the Sunday session, 1:30. Make sure you join us for that. We'd love to have your company. 1:30 TalkSport round the grounds before the final word at 6:30 with Alan Pardew and
Madge. Yeah,
taking
we're
calls.
enjoying it on a Sunday.
Good. There'll be a lot to fall out from on Sunday afternoon with Chelsea, Manchester City playing, and all those games at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, another big weekend.
Always a big weekend in the biggest league in the world. What has Eddie Howe got to do in the second half? How would you expect him to approach the second half? Are you expecting to see Almiron and Gordon at some point?
Definitely, but I would definitely also have one of your midfield players looking after Brent a little bit more, maybe Longstaff to get around him and not let him kind of have the little bit of freedom that he's had, because he has created their best moments. But there's hope for Newcastle. This isn't a done deal yet. They've shown from set plays they have a threat, and they've got the threat definitely on the bench to add a little bit more offensive kind of push. And I think that's what we're going to have to do second half to get something out of this.
If, and it's a big if, AC Milan were to end up beating Paris Saint-Germain later tonight, they would go above Newcastle. Newcastle will drop to bottom of the table. We do distinctly hope that that doesn't happen, because Newcastle continuing in this competition would be good for the Premier League clubs and good for the potential of having a fifth place next year. At the moment, though, they've got to come from behind, because at the break, it's Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
These days, it's nice to know what you're getting. Like the same when you tuck into our tasty breakfast. The same yes when your kids stay and eat breakfast for free. The same knowing there are over 800 hotels. And the same every time you sink into one of our super comfy beds. Enjoy the same feeling whatever the trip. Premier Inn. Rest easy. Only available to book at premierinn.com. T's and C's apply. Up to 2 kids stay and eat breakfast free with a full paying adult.
Stoneacre are driving down the cost of owning a fully electric vehicle with this exclusive offer. Save up to £17,000 on a Maxus van or pickup with the OLEV grant and our exclusive Stoneacre scrappage allowance, worth up to £12,000 for your current car or van. Available for immediate free nationwide delivery. They come with a free EV wall charger and a 5-year warranty. Visit stoneacre.co.uk/MaxusVans. Motoring for life.
Oi, Dave. You know BFT Automation sell everything you need for automating gates and doors. They even sell traffic barriers. Bollards. Them too, Dave. Them too.
It's true. As a global manufacturer of high quality and reliable gate motors, traffic barriers, and even automatic bollards, BFT Automation will have a solution for you. For great service and a huge range of access solutions for domestic, commercial, and urban sites, visit bftautomationuk.com.
If your business is accused of damaging a client's property, for example, accidentally pouring tea all over their expensive audio equipment. Really, really sorry about that, by the way. Then Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance, subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject to policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
Washing, dishes, vacuuming, household chores never end. Even for me, Albert Einstein. But you know what? I leave it all till later, because I've got a smart meter. And right now I'm part of a scheme where I get rewarded for changing when I use my energy. More than 1 million others took part last winter using less energy at peak times. Good, eh?
Get ready to start earning rewards. Search Get a Smart Meter today. Eligibility and availability vary. Consumer action required. Reward schemes available to selected customers.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Hang on. Whether you're a McNuggets connoisseur or a Chicken Selects mega fan, come together with the McDonald's chicken combo for just $14.99. With 20 chicken McNuggets, 10 chicken selects and 8 dips, there's something for every chicken lover. Order now in store and on McDelivery. Until 3rd of Jan 2024 from 11 a.m. Participating restaurants. Price may vary. Delivery price uplift and fees apply. Subject to availability.
TalkSport 2, traffic and travel.
In Warwickshire, the M6 northbound is partly blocked after a collision between Cawley Services and Junction 4 for the N42. In Oxfordshire, delays on the M40 northbound. That's partly blocked by a broken down lorry just by Junction 10, the turn off for Brackley. And in Hertfordshire, long queues on the anti-clockwise M25, which is partly blocked at Junction 23 for the A1M. There's a broken down lorry there on the exit slip, so do expect some long delays. I'm Adam Moore.
The Social with Addy Oladipo and Rory Jennings. Tomorrow afternoon from 3 on TalkSport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least. I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests. If you can't get in this squad after showing the form you showed, I don't think it looks too good for them. This is the place to be. It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on TalkSport 2.
What a goal!
The Social.
Tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it?
On TalkSport 2. The passion, the pain, and the poetry of the beautiful game. Overhead kick! Brilliant goal! The Champions League live on TalkSport 2. Newcastle have gone from a team languishing in the Premier League relegation zone to this. A date with Dortmund and a congregation of their ear-splitting fans, both fighting to stay
in the Champions League. Sabitser's made a good run. Andy Yemi gets a shot away, punched away by Pope. Up to the edge of the penalty area, a little flick onto Fulkrug, who tries to return it to Sabitzer, who turns back into Fulkrug, taps it into the roof of the net with his left foot. And they went a little bit missing at the back there, Newcastle. And the combination of Fulkrug and Sabitzer have opened up Newcastle's defence. Trippier is going to take this corner. He's waiting for the delivery. What can he come up with here? It needs to be a good one. Right-footed. It's in towards the penalty spot area. A header is on goal by Cher, but it's saved down low to his right by Corbell. Trippier would love to cultivate a goal now. Sends it long. He's headed back down towards Joe Linton, who heads it, prods it towards goal, but he couldn't get the power. And springing up to his right was Corbell. Good evening to you. This is Sam Matterface and Alan Pardew bringing you live commentary from the Westfalen Stadium in Dortmund, where Borussia Dortmund lead by a 1-0 against Newcastle United. That goal coming after 26 minutes, and Dortmund at this moment in time in charge of this fixture, and will be in charge of and most likely to be the team that go through to the last 16. Let's talk about some of the other games that are taking place tonight. It is an early kick-off in the Champions League tonight for Newcastle and for Dortmund. Shakhtar Donetsk lead against Barcelona in the other early game in this tournament. Later on TalkSport, we'll be bringing you Atletico Madrid against Celtic. Manchester City are in action as well tonight, and they're looking to maintain their 100% start to the Champions League when they face young boys later on. Pep Guardiola's side, top of Group G, and won the reverse fixture 3-1 a week ago. Erling Haaland is a doubt for the match, though, after he went off at half-time in the weekend's victory over Bournemouth. European football expert Lars Siversen joined H&J earlier. He's written a book on Haaland and explained that for all the success since joining City from Dortmund, the way he's adapted to the physicality of the English game has been crucial.
And that has been, I would say, the real triumph of his move to City so far. Obviously, winning the treble was good. Setting all these records, tremendous. But, and this isn't just me speculating, they've said this on the record, they were a little bit concerned about the physicality of the Premier League before going here, because in his last season at Dortmund, he was starting to pick up some muscle injuries that will have concerned them a little bit. So when they were trying to make the decision where to next, to Real Madrid, to Manchester City, whatever, we know this from the documentary they did with Viaplay, that they were aware that there is an extra physical load that you'll be submitted to when you play in England. The referees allow a little bit more. There's some extra games because of the League Cup, all this sort of stuff. But because he's hardly been injured at all, he's had a couple of little knocks. The physio team at City have done an incredible job, and Pep have spoken about this. He spends basically more time with the physios than he does on the training ground, almost, because they're really, really careful about keeping him in shape. Because his musculature is pretty unique. Like, he has this incredible combination of strength and explosivity that you have to be very careful with.
When was he first on your radar, Lars? When did you first kind of hear about him?
So I have a funny answer to this, which is, obviously, I grew up in Bruyne, the same small town as him, and my father in particular is a massive Bruyne fan, you know, season ticket holder forever, this sort of thing. And he would always say, because of course Alfie Holland's also from there. Yeah. So he would always say to me when I was younger, because the club fell on hard times, just wait until Alfie's kids grow up, you know, then good times will come again. So I guess I've had a vague idea that Alfie's kids might be good for a long time. I think in terms of, again, when he makes his debut, you do notice that Alfie's son is in the first team. Obviously, that's interesting. But I think the moment most people in Norway realised that there's something here was in the summer of 2018, when he scored 4 goals away to Brann for Molde then, because he was 17 at the time, and a lot of people within football rated him highly, but a lot of people in the public hadn't quite seen it yet. And he just had a massive growth spurt, which, you know, in that, you know, maybe his touch is not perfect, he could look a bit clumsy. Then there was an away game to Brann, very difficult place to go, tough defensive team that season, and he just went wild and scored 4 goals, and everyone was like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah. I first noticed him, I'm not a kind of European football wonk, obviously. You guys are the experts, but watching the goal show on BT Sport one night when he first got to Salzburg, it was a Champions League game, and I can't remember if it was against, but he scored a couple of goals, made a couple of goals. And I thought, wow, who's this kid? He's amazing. I mean, I think I'd heard of him, but to see him in the flesh, I think he scored tap-ins, he scored a great header, he scored one where he ran from deep, took players on and drilled it. I mean, all sorts of different goals. And you could see there was a real talent there.
Yeah, and that autumn at Salzburg is obviously when it all kicked off completely. Jesse Marsch came in and seemed to have a real connection with him. I think him and Jesse Marsch was a good mix, actually. It's sort of very, I mean, it's crude, but very American leadership style. You know, come on, guys. That seemed to really work for Erling Haaland, and he put him straight in the team and put a lot of trust in him. And Erling just went wild, and it was clear that he outgrew Austria very, very quickly.
Yes, that's Lars Siversen talking on H&J about Erling Haaland. He outgrows quite a lot, doesn't he, Erling Haaland? He certainly played well in the Premier League last year, and he hasn't had the best start to the season, but he's still the Premier League's top goal scorer, which just shows his quality, I think, Alan.
Yeah, he's just that striker. You can almost tell that he can hover in games. He not looking involved, then bang, bang, and he's got 2 goals. You know, he's a formidable talent. I really thought that second goal was it. The header against Man United was terrific. And that just summed him up. Didn't try to be clever with it, just put it in the back of the net.
Well, that game tonight will be reported upon as we take you round the grounds during the commentary of Atletico Madrid against Celtic. It's live on TalkSport tonight. That Atletico Madrid against Celtic game, it kicks off at 8 o'clock. Also kicking off here at the same time, we've got Rotherham Ipswich for you. That's live on TalkSport 2. And Mark Wilson will be part of your commentary team. So let's head back inside the Westfalen Stadion as the two teams emerge onto the pitch down in front of us for the second half of what is a huge Champions League match and a huge 45 minutes, Alan, for both Newcastle United and for Borussia Dortmund, because if it stays this way, the likelihood is that Newcastle will be struggling to stay in the Champions League by the time they go to Paris in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and you know, it starts to impact on you as a manager, because you've left a couple of players out here. He's left Gordon Almiron on the bench. Now he's 1-0 down, and now the game's resting on this 45 minutes. You really, really, really need something now. Otherwise, questions will be asked, because at the end of the day, at Newcastle, every game's analysed, as you can imagine, by about 14 websites, 5 radio shows, 3 TVs. You know, it's full on. So, and we are making a change, and I thought we might. We're actually making 2.
Yes, indeed. And it's Callum Wilson who comes off. I wonder whether they are just sort of planning to share the load here. Almiron and Gordon coming on, and the other change is Lewis Hall, who's been replaced. So Trippier will go to left back. Livramento will go to right back. Almiron will go to right midfield. Joe Linton will stay where he is, I think, and maybe Gordon will go down the centre. Or Joe Linton will go down the middle and Gordon will go down the left, we'll see. But Lewis Hall made his Champions League debut and was booked, has been preserved. And I think Wilson has just been preserved as well.
Yeah, interesting, because now, you know, this is it now. Joe Linton is going to stay out on this, high on this left-hand side. So Gordon looks like he'll go through the middle. So this is a real test now. With the players that he's got available, he's probably got his best team on the pitch now.
Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0. The good news for Newcastle is that they lost their last Champions League game to Dortmund. They're unbeaten in their last 7 Premier League matches. They scored 20 goals and conceded just 4 during that period. They're also through in the Carabao Cup. Those statistics should underscore how impressive Eddie Howe's team have been at both ends of the pitch, but their attacking statistics are particularly impressive. Going into the weekend, they were top ranks in the Premier League for shots on goal, conversion percentage, but they're defending here. Adeyemi moving up to the edge of the area, runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac and then shoots. And he takes a couple of deflections on the way through to Pope, who gloves it. But actually, he ran so far to the left, if he'd just cut back to the right, there was more space for him to run into. But he was allowed to travel a very long way.
He got a great release. He's running across the pitch, and he had a great opportunity. He had one down his left-hand side, which he ignored. Hovered. He had then 2 on his right, which he messed around with. It was an opportunity for Dortmund to get a second goal there.
Well, we've just got a bit of a delay in proceedings while some detritus is cleared from the pitch. Lots of gold cartons and tennis balls being thrown onto the pitch. And that might well be some sort of protest against ticket prices. In Germany, they're pretty hot on the idea of all the prices being egalitarian, but and when it doesn't go their way, they make a big fuss about it. And certainly, it looks to me like fake gold bars have been thrown onto the pitch.
That's exactly what it looks like. I actually thought there was that big sausage box, you know, with they sell out there. But the Dortmund very much always their fans have always been a
football has always been the German way of thinking when it comes to the game. Most of their ownership structures are very sort of supporter-based, committee-based. There's no real sort of overlords. Here's Tino Livramento in behind, sends across it towards the near post. It's gloved away by Corbell. He pushes it out towards the edge of the penalty area. William can't react to it. He's got it back again. Now here's Trippier. Infield it goes, looking for Longstaff. Back to Joel Linton, who with his back to goal feeds the ball into Bruno Guimaraes, and they move down the right-hand side, just a couple of inches from the right touchline, and it remains Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0. That was a good chance for Livramento.
Probably their best chance. He got it behind the back four with a ball that lifted over. He squared it. The keeper just got a hand to it. Otherwise, it was a tap-in.
Joel Linton down the left, producing a cross in towards the near post. Misses everyone. Comes back out on the edge of the box. Sent forward by Almiron. And it's wide of the right-hand upright. And they look a little bit more purposeful at the start of the second half, Newcastle United, as they look to fight back from a goal down.
Definitely look more balanced, look like they got more of a threat. Those were the two of the better attacks they've had in the whole game. This is the chance.
Goes down the right-hand side, gets to the byline, pulls the ball back through the 6-yard box, and it evades everyone. Goalkeeper did just enough to steer it away. Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0. And Newcastle's last European campaign came 11 years ago. They got to the Europa League quarter-finals. They lost to the eventual runners-up, Benfica.
Yeah, we should have won.
I think someone not too far away from me was in charge then.
Yeah, we were really unlucky that night.
Here is Schlotterbeck sending it down the left-hand side. Ball crew plays it in towards Brandt. Brandt gets hold of it, steps on the ball, then gets it back again, and then shoots towards the far corner from the edge of the area. Right-footed, left side, cuts in, and then sends it across the goalkeeper and fingers it round the post.
Yeah, Brent actually lost possession there, and but it kind of fell his way. He tried to trick.
Just sort of helping the ball back into the danger zone. I think the offside flag was up against Fulkrug anyway.
I think the bigger worry was that they had a man spare at the set play there, and he should have scored, really. I don't know why he missed that header.
It was a very near post, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Joel Linton helping it down the left. A little bit more of an open game in the second half. Willock trying to get the better of Adeyemi. Allows the ball to go out of play. He then tries to conduct the crowd. And Willock ends up behind the goal. In a sea of those cartons that have been turned into fake goal bars, crashing into the advertising hoardings.
A few tubes of party poppers as well. I don't know if that's real.
I noticed that you spotted those. Had a few of those before, have you? New Year's Eve. They're just New Year's Eve, aren't they, party poppers? Here on the right-hand side, Schuler careering down the right touchline, helps it on into the path of the goal scorer Fulkrug, who's dispossessed by Kieran Trippier. It goes out of play, and it's away for a Newcastle throw with 52 on the clock.
Big fella, yeah, Fulkrug.
He's big, but so is Schuler down the right side. You wouldn't want to get caught in that sandwich, would you?
A few sausages in there.
Dortmund 1, Newcastle 0. It's over the halfway line. Hummels plays it right, blocked by Joel Linton. It's smuggled out on this near side. And Eddie Howe's rolled his dice. And now he wants...
Yeah, the balls are gone. That's always a trait. You go away from home, suddenly all the multi-ball goes out the window.
Certainly looking for a road ball there. Almiron wins it back on halfway by sticking a foot out to a poor crossfield ball. Now Livramento is urged to get forward. He does that on the far side, down the right side. He's tackled by the left full-back Ryerson. And Almiron actually has won a free kick now in from the touchline on that right. And it wasn't a great tackle that by Rice. He sort of jumped towards it. Missed the ball.
Livramento, who's gone back, he's gone to right back. Actually looks so much better already because the game's in front of him. He's had two good little forays down that right side already. He's got Almiron with him down there. So that's probably Newcastle's biggest threat in the second half, that right side.
Dortmund have only lost 2 of the last 17 home games. Ball sent in towards the near post. It runs through past 2 yellow shirts before it comes on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Joel Linton, a back heel to Almiron, who's crossed into the near post, flicks into the air, takes a deflection and it's cleared away. Newcastle win it back again and keep the pressure on. Bruno Guimaraes, midway inside Borussia Dortmund territory. Fumbling down the left is Joel Linton, back into Guimaraes again. Can he open up that stubborn defence now? Who's set back into a really rigid shape. And it's not just a yellow wall that they're attacking, it's a yellow wall in front of the penalty area. Lascelles sends it wide. Almiron, Livramento, back to halfway and just right to the centre circle. It's with Lascelles again. They're banked up here, Borussia Dortmund, as Newcastle come down the side with Joe Willett to Joel Linton, and then back to the middle and Trippier. He finds Lascelles on the edge of the centre circle. They work it wide right. Livramento trying to open up the pitch, plays it down to Longstaff, nudges it on. It's picked up by Almiron, who's coming back from an offside position. It's going to be a free kick. This continues from the game involving Celtic away at Madrid tonight, Atletico Madrid, and Talk Sport 2's Ian Dowd has the team news.
And Celtic desperate for a win to keep pace with this group. They make 4 changes from the weekend win at Ross County. In come Johnston, O'Reilly, Kyogo and Palmer. Out go Yang and O, Turnbull and Ralston from that winning side. Griezmann drops into midfield for Atletico Madrid, who lost their last game in La Liga. It's 8 o'clock, live on TalkSport, Atletico Madrid against Celtic.
And that game kicks off at 8 o'clock, as Ian was saying. If you download the TalkSport app, you can listen to both stations, flick between the two. We've got Rotherham against Ipswich here. That kicks off at 8 o'clock with Mark Wilson and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Worth remembering that Newcastle are without Elliot Anderson, Harvey Barnes, Sven Botman, Alexander Isak, Manquillo, Miley, Murphy, Target and Tonali. Miley's back on the bench tonight, but he's been suffering with glandular fever. And you've got the other added problem of having Emil Kraft and Matt Ritchie not available because they're not in the Champions League squad. Here's Livramento on the right-hand side. Cross into the box. Joel Linton with a header. He's missed it 7 yards out. It's a golden chance to equalise. Coming in off that left touchline, he connected with a brilliant cross on the right-hand side. Livramento getting into a wide right area. His cross is pinpoint. The header was imprecise. It's wide of the goal, and it's a major miss from Joel Linton.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a score, really. I don't know if he's taken his eye off that at the last minute. The defender's coming from the other side of him, so it's no excuse, really. Best bit of play from Newcastle. Gordon come from the central position, went and doubled up on the wide area. It was a great cross that come in the end. And Joe Linton, wow, he'd be kicking himself, wouldn't he?
What a miss that is for Joel Linton, who is still waiting for his first goal of the season. He hasn't scored in his last 4 club appearances. Almiron down the right again. They're getting more joy out there. He cuts infield on his left foot, and then Livramento just sort of came across his path, and that slowed him up a little bit. And as he tried to hit it goalwards, he got right underneath it, and it goes over the top. And there's a bit of a headache here for Edin Terzic, who was the assistant to Slaven Bilic at West Ham United in the Premier League. He's having a word on his bench with 1 or 2 of his backroom staff. Marco Reus is warming up down in front of us because I think they feel as if the game's just swung. Momentum has gone in Newcastle's direction.
And definitely down that right side, he's going to need to do something because Gordon's going out there with Almiron as well, and they're causing a few problems down that side. Liv Romero bursting from the fullback position.
1-0, 57 minutes on the clock. Here comes Schüller, travelling down the right side of the Dortmund attack into Newcastle territory. It's blocked by Joel Linton, spills into midfield. Ozcan keeps things moving. Sally Ozcan, who came off the bench early for Emre Can in the first game, hardly played up until that point. He plays it wide to Schüller. Skipping past Trippier was Adeyemi. He gets down towards the byline and then was a little bit caught in 2 minds. He could have funneled that back to the Nemecha, decided not to, and as a result ended up giving the ball away. And Trippier's then given it back straight to a a yellow jersey. Brandt on the ball in front of the Newcastle backline. 1-2 with Ozcan. Then gets a shot in towards the far corner, and it's touched behind again by Pope, diving to his right, pushing it round the post. I think it was already arcing away from the upright and wasn't going to be on target from Julian Brandt. But he's at the heart of everything that's good about Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, they still haven't really got to grips with him. You know, again, the two moments in this second half have come from him. And actually, Pope needed probably to get something on that. Anyway, it's petered out whatever they were doing at the corner, and Newcastle back in possession.
I think he's given a goal kick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is surprising. And Julian Brandt can't believe it either.
Yeah, it's one of those that only the referee sees, that one.
Or doesn't see. Ball played through the 18-yard box. Edin Terzic is going crazy about the fact that they've got the corner kick wasn't given. Here's Nemecha from distance, shooting as Newcastle contrived to get the ball away. They started to play around with it inside their 18-yard box, Alan, in rather odd circumstances there, playing the ball right across the face of the goal.
Trippier's
they're under pressure.
Trippier's done that a couple of times. He's obviously a right footer playing left back, so you know that ball across the penalty box is a temptation. One I hope he doesn't take again, if I'm honest.
Halfway line. There's Trippier. Back out wide to Joel Linton, who's midway now inside the Borussia Dortmund half. Moving forward at pace. Newcastle looking for an equaliser. We've nearly played the hour mark. They conceded after 26 minutes. They've had a cracking chance from Joel Linton, but haven't managed to convert it. They need to fashion another one. Gordon in towards the edge of the D. It's away before Longstaff can reach it. It bounces out on this left-hand side. Joel Linton is wrestling with Ozcan, and is penalised for being too physical.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I don't know why Wilson's off the pitch here, because in actual fact their own hopes in the Champions League now are resting on Gordon being the striker. Now, I don't think Gordon's ever played there. I heard his interview of the weekend. He played there obviously for a couple of moments, but it's not a natural position for him, and the hopes are resting on him really tonight.
Yeah, he did play there quite a lot during the European Championships in the summer, the under-21s. It was a role that he played for
at a lower level.
At a lower level, yeah, but it's not something that he has done for Newcastle with regularity since his move. He's obviously usually used as a wide player. He has done it once or twice, and did do it with effect on Saturday because he scored the only goal of the game.
Yeah, at the end, yeah, he went through the middle, but I mean, you know, it was more of a... But I would have liked to have seen Gordon down one side, Almiron down the other, and Wilson through the middle, personally. But whether Wilson's got a knock or, as you say, fatigue, you know, you can only know that if you're in the group.
Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0 on Talk Sport 2 tonight. And it's a tense end to the game, 30 minutes to go. And the Newcastle supporters behind the goal that they're defending at this moment in time in those green shirts, white shorts and green socks are waiting to see what delivery is forthcoming from Julian Brandt, who's just lining up another set piece midway inside opposition territory. He nods and winks and looks up and drifts the ball towards the back edge of the penalty area. Hummels was coming underneath it. It's away by Bruno Guimaraes. Sabitzer picks it up left angle, goes back towards the far side. Ryerson deep cross is headed back across the face of goal by Schlotterbeck. It's then prodded clear by Lascelles, comes back out to Nemecha, and then Schuler keeps it alive. Out to the left it goes. Hummels is still in there, tucks it back. Adeyemi took too long to get his shot away, and Bruno Guimaraes puts it behind and away for a corner.
Adeyemi's done some good things, but he's
Doug. And as well, it is a Five Live final score night tonight with all of the later football coming up. You can listen to our commentary as Cher goes for goal from 5 yards inside his own half, but Coble was very much alive and aware to it, was able to go back and hold the ball into his chest.
He's certainly got the range, Cher, that's for sure. I'm really enjoying this game. I think Newcastle are playing ever so well. It's been a really good spell in the game for them, John, but Dortmund always look dangerous on the counter as well, or even in the final third.
Yeah, Cher with that shot from inside his own half. Adeyemi has then upended, and rather belatedly, referee Hernandez gives that as a free kick. I think he was waiting to see possibly whether it was going to develop. That was hardly going to develop for Dortmund because Newcastle took the ball away. I suspect, by the way, that in Germany now they call that a Harry Kane if you score from the halfway line after one of his recent goals. So, free kick for Dortmund. Don't mention Harry Kane in here. Scoring his hat-trick on Saturday.
Everyone turned around and looked at it.
House. Borussia Dortmund 1, Newcastle United 0. 25 minutes to go. Newcastle really need to get something from this game. Brandt with the free kick on the right. Here he is, curling it towards the penalty spot. It's gone a long way and it's bounced off a defender, Newcastle man, but straight back to his goalkeeper, Pope, who was able to take it quite easily. Mentioning Radio Newcastle, they've been giving a lot of coverage actually this week to 5 cyclists who've been doing a charity ride from Newcastle to Dortmund this week. They started on Saturday just before the Arsenal game and they got here in good time, raising money for the Brave Hearts of the North East charity. They got here, they've cycled all the way, they didn't have tickets. I hope somehow they've been able to get themselves into the stadium for this match tonight. Thousands of Newcastle fans in the ground watching as Joe Linton loses the ball on the halfway line, flicked back by Willock, and then Trippier plays it back in field. 25 minutes exactly to go. Newcastle are sort of knocking gently on the door for an equaliser.
You can't take your eyes off it. You know, both teams look dangerous and both teams are playing well. The game's, you know, one end or the other at times.
Gimmerange, that's nice, but it just deflected, I think possibly off Gordon, straight into Schlotterbeck, who was able to clear, and Brandt and Dortmund inside their own half. Dortmund beaten 4-0 here by Bayern Munich, but before that it was 26 home matches unbeaten in all competitions. Seasoned Champions League players, this is their 8th season in a row in the Champions League. Newcastle United have only ever been in this competition 3 times. Newcastle in possession, back towards the edge of their own penalty area. However, this is new Newcastle, a different ball game. And Trippier in possession, passing it over the halfway line to Willock. Willock weaving his way down the left-hand side. Joe Linton in front of him, goes infield towards Gordon. But Borussia Dortmund dealt with that. And now it comes back to Özcan, who clips a high pass. Lascelles has got to be careful here. Pope came out to the edge of his area. There was indecision there. And Lascelles, the captain, just took charge and volleyed it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, he had to, but the problem Jamel had, he let the ball bounce instead of dealing with it on the volley, and then he's always sort of chasing back to his own goal. He felt that Nick wasn't getting there, so he's just dealt with it. It's out for a throw in, no danger.
Throw in. Big Zula takes it. And then rather clumsily gives it away to Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton, who had that big chance with the header in the second half to make it 1-1. He's fouled by Adeyemi. And it's a free kick. Urgency from Newcastle. Urgency. They've got 4 points after 4 matches. Got to go to Paris, home to Milan. Teams have qualified, Neil, believe it or not, with 6 points from the groups. Only 2 of them ever from a Champions League group. And there's about, I think it was 10 instances of teams going through with 7 points. But it is rare. Here's Livramento through to Gordon on the edge of the penalty area. Gordon manages to get it back, still going, but too many yellow shirts in there. And in the end, it bounced back onto Gordon and through for a goal kick.
He's unlucky. You know, he rode a couple of challenges, but Sabitzer just got enough on it to kick it off him. Was out for a big kick. But, you know, they're very much in this game still. And when you put out those stats, John, earlier about the home record of Borussia Dortmund, you know, sometimes we expect a little bit too much at times. You know, they've got great pedigree in this competition, and as you said, it's only Newcastle's third time in the competition, and they're holding their own tonight.
Oh, they're having a look, you know, because the ball bounced up into the arm of the defender as it deflected off Gordon and through for a goal kick. But his arm was down, he was crouching over, and they've dismissed that VAR in terms of a penalty check. So still 1-0 Borussia Dortmund. And Willock moves away from Adeyemi, but Joe Linton was on his heels. And again, Hummels steps forward, the veteran defender, and then gives it to Adeyemi and says, go on, what can you do? And he's up against Livramento, who's on the left side, and Livramento goes in for the challenge in the area and gets a tackle on it and puts it behind for what is given as a Dortmund corner. 1-0 Dortmund lead.
Again, really impressive from Livramento. He's, I don't know if he switched with Trippier going left back, but he's in the left back position there, and he dealt with Adeyemi brilliantly.
Corner then, corner to Dortmund. Second goal for Dortmund, and it would be really hard to see Newcastle getting anything out of this. So they've got to be strong. But clean sheets have been a strength again in recent times. Certainly at St James's Park in the Premier League. Brandt with a corner for Dortmund, deep to the back post. Hummels got his head to it, but it came off Livramento as he headed it down into the youngster. And it's deflected behind for another corner, wide of the far post for another corner to Dortmund from the left this time.
He's done well again, you know, he's 1v1 against Hummels, he's got the run on him, but you know, he's managed to do enough to put Hummels off and get something on the ball.
20 years old, and he's been given Hummels to look after, although he's also having to look after Fulkrug. In fact, it's Fulkrug he's looking after now. It's a corner then from the far side, so this is an in-swinger from Brandt with that blonde hair, that vivid blonde hair, swept back. Referee spotted some pushing and shoving in the 6-yard box. So the corner for Dortmund. Still we wait. Brandt into the near post, a flick wide from Nemecha and deflected wide. It's another corner, a third consecutive one.
It's a big chance that Johnny gets a free run on it. Didn't get enough purchase on the flick. Deflected out for another corner. They just got to be concentrated here. Newcastle, this is really important.
Brandt again, standing up against the hoardings, one foot in front of the other. The delivery, Pope comes for it and makes a catch comfortably inside the 6-yard box. So 1-0, Borussia Dortmund continue to lead. Neil Lennon with us, Northern Ireland international. Neil, I'm sure you'll want to send your best to Pat Jennings, by the way, who obviously had a bit of a turn at Tottenham last night, but it sounds as though he's going to be okay to go and unveil his statue in Newry tomorrow, from what we hear.
I heard he wasn't well, but I heard he got the all clear. And speaking of goalkeepers, what a legend Pat Jennings was, and a real role model for a lot of people in my generation.
Absolutely. Nick Pope has sat down in the penalty area, and it looks as though, well, he's pointing towards his calf, his right calf, and this could be a problem for Newcastle United. Another injury. And Nick Pope, who's made a series of saves again in this match, so important, such a big part of this Eddie Howe Newcastle United team. The players have all come across very quickly, which I think tells you all you need to know about the effort that they've put in. And the coaches are playing their part as well. Edin Terzic of Borussia Dortmund talking to Adeyemi, talking to Nemecha, and likewise Eddie Howe with the Newcastle players, calling for a big effort in the last 20 minutes. And Nick Pope has received treatment, and it looks as though he's going to be okay. There's an announcement, the stadium is sold out, but I missed the actual crowd figure. But I mean, it's good. The capacity here is, for a Champions League night, is around about 80,000 people.
Amazing, isn't it?
As we drove past the railway station, the Hauptbahnhof earlier, they were pouring in, presumably from all over the Ruhr, as they do for all of the home matches. So Nick Pope is okay, but that's a worry. Throw in for Newcastle. Livramento onto the chest of Joe Linton. Time running out for Newcastle. Through from Guimaraes towards Almiron. Brandt, I think he was pulled back by Longstaff. Sabitzer does well though, touch in on that. Nemecha's pass forward, Adeyemi trying to get round Livramento, and in the end the two of them tangling together, and the referee says to them both, get up, says to Adeyemi, get up. It's not a free kick. Nick Pope's got it.
Yeah, it was a foul on Livramento, and Adeyemi's looking for the foul to be given against Livramento. What a job he's done. He's now playing at left back. And Trippier's gone back to his natural position at right back because...
So why has he done that?
Well, I think he was struggling a little bit, Trippier, on the left-hand side. Either he's carrying a little bit of a knock, or they just felt that Livramento was better suited to take care of Adeyemi just for the extra pace.
The crowd, 81,365. Borussia Dortmund say, vielen Dank. And vielen Dank, Borussia Dortmund, for the special Borussia Dortmund ice cream, which I enjoyed tonight. Out to the right-hand side to Trippier. And now it's Bruno Guimaraes who takes it down, slips the ball infield towards Gordon, but Ryerson was able to outmuscle him. And then it's passed away, and Julian Brandt, turns and wins a throw-in for his team near the halfway line. We've got less than 20 minutes to play now. Newcastle, otherwise they're going to need to get something potentially in Paris, and then maybe to win against Milan, possibly to go through, possibly to stay in Europe.
Yeah, what do you got, maybe 20 minutes, John? 20 minutes, eventually going to have to gamble and throw more bodies forward. I have to say though, watching Livramento tonight again, I think he's had an outstanding game. And you've got another English right back who looks...
Yeah, another one.
Will you stop holding them all, please?
Funny enough, I said to Chris Waddle, who was with us for the Arsenal match at the weekend, I said, I'm not sure you and I have ever commentated on a Valentino before, to which our colleague Will Perry got in touch, young Will Perry, to say Valentino Lazaro played for Newcastle. So they break forward Dortmund. Adeyemi plays it to the left-hand side. Brandt crosses, but that was blocked. Brandt plays it infield. Sabitzer, but Willock got a touch on that. This is dangerous for Newcastle. Nemetcha's becoming more influential in the game, but that's an excellent challenge by Willock on Nemetcha. And now Newcastle bring it forward with Almiron in the centre circle. Turns. Özcan went with him. He's still able to find Willock. Willock now to Gordon, who's peeled out to the right-hand side. Joe Linton in the middle. Longstaff's gone through the middle as well. And now, on the right-hand side, Trippier with the cross to the back post. Joe Linton underneath it. Heads it towards the penalty spot. Spectacular overhead kick is blocked. Bruno Guimaraes, that was blocked by Özcan inside the penalty area. Comes back for Newcastle again. Joe Linton back to the edge of the box. Bruno Guimaraes thought about the shot. Goes square to Trippier. Trippier's ball in from the angle. Over the top of Joe Linton. Headed away by Zula. And Newcastle now really testing Borussia Dortmund. That looked like a foul on Livramento. Referees played the advantage. Bruno Guimaraes, 25 yards out. Angles it again towards Trippier on the right. Trippier controls it. Flicks it back. Then the ball into the penalty area to Almiron. Newcastle, good possession. Bruno Guimaraes, though, his ball over the top is overhead. Almiron couldn't get there. Goalkeeper Coble could comfortably.
Great play, great passage of play from Newcastle. That's the best they've had for the last 10 minutes. Every one of them are giving everything out there at the minute, John. Their physicality off the ball, their running power. They're just missing that vital bit, which is the goal, obviously. But they're playing ever so well.
Newcastle with over 50% of the possession in the match now. He has Fulkrug through the middle, the goal scorer. Now to Brandt, could open up for Dortmund. Brandt into the box, shoots from the angle, but right across the face of goal. And in the middle, Fulkrug trotting in, couldn't get there. And it is a goal kick. 1-0 Dortmund lead. Newcastle United have failed to score in only 3 matches this season. Before today, obviously Dortmund in the home match, Milan away in the Champions League, and Manchester City away in the Premier League. Newcastle yet to score away in this Champions League group. They really, really could do with breaking that duck here tonight. But Dortmund are and continue to be a threat. Here's Hummels on the halfway line. Hummels just rolls it to Brandt again. Brandt just keeps possession. Then the crossfield pass is controlled by Zula. Little ball to Adeyemi. Back to Zula. The good work from Cher, who goes down and wins the ball back against Zula and then takes it to the halfway line as Newcastle pour forward in green. Willock keeps his feet well after the challenge from Adeyemi. Then Hummels puts in an excellent tackle on Willock, but he's got support there. Willock from Almiron, who was fouled by Adeyemi, and it's a free kick 5 or 6 yards back from the corner flag for Newcastle.
That's fantastic play from, first of all, Shaw, and then a great break by Almiron and Willock. Willock's, he's looking tired now, but he has put in some yards tonight. Hummels makes a great tackle, but recycled the ball Almiron, and then he's fouled by Adeyemi. So another decent opportunity to put a good ball into the box here, Tom.
It's got a great ebb and flow to it. In this brilliant arena, yellow and black everywhere, flags, banners, scarves, the whole lot. And I don't know, will there be another goal? Will there be more than one goal? Will there be no more goals? We simply do not know. Free kick then for Newcastle. Set piece opportunity. Dortmund have got everyone back. Trippier's come across to take this from the left-hand side. He's got a nice angle on this. Whistles from the yellow wall behind that goal. As Trippier plays it in, didn't get the delivery right, and it was headed down easily and comfortably by the first man at the near post. And now Dortmund break with a long ball to Brandt. It's 2 against 1. Brandt in possession, Livramento the only defender, and Brandt scores! Left-footed across Pope, and it's Borussia Dortmund who get their second goal and likely finish off Newcastle here this evening. And the confetti goes up again, and Newcastle are going to have it all to do in this group. 2-0 Dortmund lead.
I think that's burst the Newcastle bubble. I did say, when Newcastle were going to have to gamble. Well, they did. They threw everybody forward there. The ball was not deep enough from the free kick, and 2 players break. Adeyemi plays a long ball to Brandt, and then it's a 2v1 against Livramento. Half a pitch Brandt's got to run into. Livramento can't get close to him. He uses Sabitzer as a decoy to pass it. Livramento stays away. Brandt opens his body up on his left foot and smashes it low into the corner. Great finish. But that's the jeopardy that's the gamble that you have to take sometimes, Sean. And you get punished at the highest level, and Newcastle have been punished.
Borussia Dortmund 2, Newcastle United 0. And Newcastle making another change there. It's young Lewis Miley, the 17-year-old, who has come on. I didn't see who left the field.
I think it's Joe Willock.
Willock. That makes sense.
Joe's given us all tonight, and he was running on empty, really.
Yeah. So Lewis Miley is on for his European debut. So 3 youngsters have been given their European debut. And at the other end of the scale, that great Borussia Dortmund servant Marco Reus, the 34-year-old former captain who made his 400th Borussia Dortmund appearance at the weekend against Bayern Munich. He has come on to replace Adeyemi. But you would think that Dortmund had done enough now against Newcastle, who are attacking. But it comes to nothing in the right-back area. Hummels was there again. Schär, his right-footed ball in. That's headed away on the edge of the box by Schlotterbeck for Dortmund. And then goal-scorer Brandt has just scored his 6th goal of the season. He is able to release the ball to the left-hand side, where it's taken forward, battling through the middle. A low shot comes in from the left-back, Ryerson, who took it a long way, but straight at Pope, who was able to deal with it straightforwardly.
It's just looking now, John, that some of the Newcastle players are showing the fatigue. It's not just physical, it's psychological as well. That second goal has really hurt them. And you want to try and get back into the game, but you also don't want to concede anymore either. The game's so open now. A lot of them look leggy out there.
Out to the right to Trippier. And now challenge inside the box from there's Chan, which took the ball and deflected it behind off Longstaff, who's looking at the referee.
Well, that's a free kick. That was penalty.
Yeah, it was quite a heavy challenge inside the penalty area.
Barged him in the back.
Came in at pace, used his body. Longstaff went down, but VAR, needless to say, will have had a look and have backed up the referee's on-field decision. Play resumes. Borussia Dortmund leading 2-0 and just 6 minutes or so to go. So they're going to have to do it the hard way. Newcastle looks like they're going to lose home and away to Borussia Dortmund, who've got that Bayern Munich performance out of their system all right today with this, a goal in each half. And Newcastle are going to have to get something, you would think, in Paris and against Milan at home. Here's Bruno Guimaraes playing it to the right-hand side. he gets it back. They haven't given it up yet. Certainly not. If Joe Linton had been able to bury that header, that was the big moment, Neil.
Massive moment in the game, John. And they were in the ascendancy at the time. If it goes 1-1 with the way they were playing, they could have went on to win it. But at this level, you have to score those chances.
And there was always that threat. Newcastle, for the second goal, sent everyone forward. Dortmund had everyone back, but counter-attacked so effectively. Here's Almiron putting in the challenge, but the ball bounces out of play. That did look as though it came off the Dortmund man, but it's given us a home throw. So 2-0 to Borussia Dortmund, who will very shortly go to the top of the group with 7 points. Milan against PSG is tonight. We'll have commentary coming on Atletico Madrid against Celtic. What time is it now back home? Almost 7:30 back home. So we're about half an hour away from commentary from Madrid and coverage as well of Manchester City against Young Boys. Tomorrow night, Arsenal against Sevilla live from the Emirates. We're also in Denmark with Manchester United. And tomorrow as well, live on Sports Extra, England against the Netherlands to see what happens next to poor England at the Cricket World Cup. 2-0 Dortmund lead as Cher glance heads it back to Lascelles with Fulkrug putting himself about. But Newcastle have it. Here's Livramento. Now Joe Linton infield towards Bruno to Almiron. Almiron away from Royce. And now Bruno Guimaraes. What he must not do, Bruno Guimaraes, is get a yellow card in this match and get suspended. In fact, Edin Terzic is suggesting that should have been a free kick and possibly a yellow card for Bruno Guimaraes, which would have been harsh. But that's absolutely crucial now. They cannot lose him for that next match in France.
Listen, John, they can't lose any more players at the minute. I mean, it's really starting to tell. You know, the injuries. It's really biting Eddie in the squad. You know, they're patching the team together at times, but at this level, you know, you need a lot more strength and depth. They haven't played badly tonight, Newcastle. You know, for me, they've deserved something out of the game, but they've lacked that little bit of quality in the final finish, and now they're in trouble again.
Yeah, Dortmund again. Nemecha plays it through to Brandt. Lascelles has been able to get back, but there are two other Dortmund players. Chip comes across. That's headed down and away, though, by Kieran Trippier. And that chance, that threat has gone. Bruno Guimaraes now passing it forward for Gordon. Gordon racing onto it, but Schlotterbeck got there first for Dortmund. And really, Newcastle have been unable to create anything for Gordon since he's come on in that central role.
The little spells in the 20 minutes of the second half, but you hit the nail on the head, John. The big moment was the Joe Linton chance. It was a glaring miss. And to be fair, his all-round game has been decent tonight, but he's missed two great opportunities. One where he was clean through in the first half and miscontrolled the ball, and obviously that header that he put wide at a crucial stage of the game. But now they're looking a little bit dead on the feet, a little bit Newcastle. And that's just the weeks in the games catching up on them with the lack of depth in the squad. But I'll tell you one thing, they've got plenty of character and they're gutsy.
Dortmund make another change, and the man who scored the opening goal, the German striker Fulkrug, the centre forward, and you can only call him a centre forward. Nicholas Fulkrug is off, and he's been replaced by one of the young stars, Youssoufa Moukoko, who remember went to the World Cup with Germany, the 18-year-old, and Miley, who came on at 17 years old, by the way, is now Newcastle's youngest player in any European competition. So there's a little bit of history for him tonight. 2-0 Dortmund lead in the final minutes here. Less than 4 minutes plus added time to play. Here's Brandt, scorer of the second goal. That was the real blow. Before that, it was in the balance. Ryerson to the left-hand side, comes back in field towards Brandt. And then again, Brandt. Royce is available through the middle, still with the bleach blonde hair. He doesn't look like the fresh-faced youngster anymore, though, that he once did, Marco Royce. Mind you, not many of us do. Here's Joe Linton down the left, but that's deflected out of play. Joe Linton to Bruno Guimaraes. He's got two players either side of him, and he is fouled. Combination of Moukoko And Özcan, free kick to Newcastle, 5-6 yards inside the Dortmund half.
They just seem to have put a lot of effort in physically, but they're not getting anywhere, John, at the minute. You know, they're not really hurting Dortmund. Dortmund look like they're quite comfortable seeing this game out now, 2-0, and maybe getting another one on the counter-attack.
Free kick, Bruno Guimaraes plays it square. Trippier. If it's going to come for Newcastle, it needs to come very, very soon. Header across the box from Lascelles after Trippier put it in, but that's cleared away. And Dortmund look to break again. Brandt, it's been a real threat, Brandt, whether he's been on the left or the right, and obviously got that second goal. Royce. Now to Özcan, the Turkish international, does well to keep his feet. Plays it through to Moukoko, I think fouled Lascelles on the edge of the box, although that's not given as a free kick. Then he caught Lascelles on the head as he ran past him with his legs. Livramento clears to the halfway line, and then Zula back into the centre circle. And Dortmund now in control. They know it, the crowd know it, the Newcastle fans, all of their thousands to our right in the two tiers in the corner, are standing, most of them watching silently now, and thinking about where they might get a crate in Dortmund a little later to drown their sorrows. Here's Zula on the right-hand side, in towards Özcan. They're managing the game now, Dortmund. Guimaraes though in to win it back with Almiron, and then Longstaff out to the right-hand side to Trippier, but Newcastle still in their defensive third. We're in the 90th minute now. The game is almost up for Newcastle. Here's Livramento, dark hair, long on top, flopping down his forehead. Then Gordon on the left-hand side. Gordon looking to get it back. What do you think of Gordon as a central striker in the absence of Wilson and Isak?
No, not for me. He's an out-and-out winger.
Here's Longstaff taking it on. Longstaff chipping it across, but beyond Almiron, who is twisting. The ball actually is still in play near the corner flag, and it's allowed to roll out of play for a throw-in.
But I can understand why Eddie's doing this, because he's no other options really. And one thing Anthony will give you is he go in behind. He's a fantastic player and he's having a fantastic season. And it's just sort of putting square pegs in round holes for Eddie at the minute with the amount of absentees that he has. And we're hoping that Callum Wilson's not injured, because he's had to come off at half-time. That'll be another huge blow.
Yeah. As 3 minutes of added time are indicated. Yeah, I mean, I do see that Eddie Howe is certainly managing Callum Wilson this season. This is only the 6th match he started, and he substituted him at the weekend as well, if you remember. Willett came on for him. As Newcastle with Almiron just outside the D, finds Livramento in space on the left-hand side, in the box, curls it across, and the goalkeeper has actually got to hand it over the crossbar. He was almost wrong-footed there, Coble, but managed to just push it over the top for a corner.
Yeah, nice ball from Almiron to Livramento, who's he's had a fantastic game, John. He sort of miscued the cross, but it almost done the goalkeeper. He's just got a hand to flick it over the bar.
That was a mishit, was it?
I think so, yeah. I think a bit of a miscue.
But he might have been having a little cheeky kick.
You reckon,
Yeah. Corner for Newcastle. We're in added time. There's just 2 minutes to go. 2-0 down. In comes the corner. That's headed away. That's punched away by goalkeeper Coble. Comes out from Miley, but Miley loses out to Moukoko, who then loses out
Look
to
who's hurt again.
Livramento.
What a good player he is.
Yeah. Newcastle's man of the match.
Yeah, he's been outstanding for me.
I think he was given man of the match at Old Trafford last week, wasn't it? And it does look, doesn't it, that after Old Trafford and Arsenal, that this was just your classic game too far.
Yeah, you have to remember what these games take out of you, you know, and then, of course, during those games, John, he's losing players. You know, he's lost Byrne, he's lost Target, he's lost Murphy to a dislocated shoulder. And, you know, we're hoping Callum Wilson's going to be all right. But with 12 out, it does bite you eventually, particularly at this level. But having said that, I don't think they played badly tonight. It's just big moments in the game have, you know, had an impact on the scoreline and the result.
Yep. Well, we'll hear from Eddie Howe later on 5 Live and on Radio Newcastle as well, of course. But we're in the final minute of added time. Dortmund 2-0 up. Füllkrug in the first half. Brandt in the second. And Newcastle are going to need a massive effort if they're going to get through to the knockout stages after Christmas. They'll be left with 4 points from 4 matches. And actually, if Milan then beat PSG tonight, Newcastle would be bottom of the table. But there was a big if in the middle of that sentence. Almiron playing it out to the left-hand side. Here is Gordon, who gets it down on the flank, and then Trippier arrives, left-footed cross, takes a flick off a defensive head, and then is volleyed goalwards by Almiron, but blocked by a defender inside the penalty area, and the ball spins away out for a throw on the right-hand
It's
side.
a decent effort from Almiron, because the ball's coming away from him over his shoulder. He's made a great connection. There's a final whistle, John.
There it is, a huge roar from the home fans inside the Signal Iduna Arena here. Borussia Dortmund have done the double over Newcastle in this group, beaten them at St James's Park and beaten them now here in Germany. 1-0 on Tyneside, 2-0 tonight. It was in the balance for a while in the second half, but that second goal from Brandt, that finished it. Neil Lennon.
Yeah, decent performance from Newcastle. That's some good chance, quality chances. The big one falling to Joe Linton in the second half. If he scores that, makes it 1-1 with Newcastle in the ascendancy, and that's a big moment that passed them by. And just the gamble then towards the end, and they were caught on the counter-attack by a great finish from Brandt. He played really.
But the flags are waving, the Borussia Dortmund flags are waving here tonight, and Newcastle now have an awfully lot to do to get themselves through into the knockout stages of the Champions League. Final score here, Borussia Dortmund 2, Newcastle United 0.
John Murray and Neil Lennon in Dortmund for us this evening, and just looking at the faces of the Newcastle players, they do look incredibly disappointed, but it's what John was saying, Neil, is that they looked like players who knew the game was there for them. It was just, again, like the return leg at St James's Park, it just had that sense of just moments not quite going their way.
Yeah, absolutely, Kelly. When you think about the short corner that they worked, that was a great chance. Joe Linton again, you know, great run over the top first half where he was clean through and couldn't control it. Those are big moments, and because there's nothing in the game, you know, and you know that if you don't take your chances at this level, eventually the opposition, particularly at home, will get you. And then Joe Linton had it was a wonderful ball in from Limerento. He had a fantastic game tonight, I thought, for a young player. And he just got the header wrong. And if he hits it on target, it's 1-1, and the game's right there for them. But they give everything. You know, you can tell the injuries are biting now. You know, they've had such a difficult week. And it's not just, you know, physically demanding, it's mentally demanding on the players as well.
Rich on social media says, I don't think Newcastle have been that bad in either Dortmund game, but Dortmund have been very, very good. Matthew says, Dortmund across both legs have been the best side we've played all season. Easy. Brandt tonight has looked world class. I mean, look, I think there's a really good point in there, Neil, which is that there's nothing Newcastle really could have done too much more in that game. And Dortmund are good, but the best side Newcastle have played all season, are they that good?
No, I wouldn't go that far, but that again, that's subjective. That's people's opinions. I think they're a good side. I think in the Metz they've got a classy midfield player. Hummels was very good. I mean, John touched on it during commentary, Kelly. The pedigree that Dortmund have in this competition, you cannot, you know, deny that. You know, this is a seasoned team at this level. And to be honest with you, there wasn't much between the teams. I just think the lack of depth of quality that Eddie had at his disposal tonight probably cost them. You know, he had to start with Hall and Livermento. Not ideal at this level because they're rookies, really. Both of them played quite well, to be fair, but they just didn't have that cutting edge when you think of what Isaac can bring, and you know, a fully fit Farron, Callum Wilson, and you get Almiron on, and you get Murphy fit, and you get sort of Gordon and Dan Burn. Eventually, it does hit you. And Tonali, obviously, you know, we've lost him for a long period of time, so. It's just circumstances at the present that have cost Newcastle more than anything else, but I got to admire their personality, their character and the physicality. They give it everything tonight, but they look at our team tonight, Kelly.
Yeah, and Rich on social media continued to say that, you know, not much chance of qualification now. Didn't expect it in that group, but can still get into the Europa League by beating Milan at St James's Park. Just remind us, John, of how the group stands and what Newcastle potentially could do here.
Well, Milan against PSG tonight, that is being played in Italy. So currently Borussia Dortmund top of the group with 7 points, PSG with 6, Newcastle with 4, and Milan with 2. And I suppose, you know, looking at it that way, and remember it's the head-to-head record as well that comes in.
Borussia Dortmund 2, Newcastle United 0. Yep, guys, so Dortmund have done the double out of Newcastle United, guys, and yeah, I think they were the better side. They were the better side. They have won, they have defeated Newcastle United both home and away, and tonight clearly the better side, the better attacking side. Like that, the attacking intent of that game was much better than Newcastle United, guys. Yeah, fair play to Newcastle United. They also created their own chances. You know, they push hard, try to get into the game, but then I think they just made a better side. Borussia Dortmund, two well-taken goals, you know, two great goals like that. And yeah, Dortmund now at the top of this group right now. PSG is going to take on AC Milan after this. So guys, watch out for that one. I'm going to go off right now and come back live for that game here like that. But then guys, yeah, Newcastle United that lost here, both home and away. And they couldn't even record a single goal against Dortmund, guys. They didn't. They lost 1-0 at home, and then here tonight they lost 2-0. Like they didn't actually get a goal versus Dortmund here. But anyway, yeah, Dortmund are actually the better side here, and yeah, they have bounced back from that humiliating defeat at the hands of Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Bundesliga derby like that. But then, yeah, it was a great result here. Great home win here for Borussia Dortmund, guys. Yeah, people, so thanks for tuning in. Some SK Football. I brought to you on-time scores, on-time stats, play-by-play ball movement here, and my full-time match reaction for this one like that. I'm just going to go off right now and come back live for PSG versus AC Milan. Alright, guys, so thanks for tuning in. I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye for now.